At the beginning, we had technical issues, and it took us a bit of time to resolve it. Thank God we finally did. We all know the people that are here, and we have a guest in the house. Bisilola, am I correct? Yes. Bisilola Bakari is, I don't know how to describe it. Bisi, come and introduce yourself.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Engine.
Yeah. She's
Engine.
She's a massive.
How do I introduce myself? Bisilola Bakari, I'm a thespian, but I'm also a culture curator. I help people experience culture better for a modern audience. I'm the producer of Alo. I run a company called Afro by Africa where we curate experiences, cultural experiences. I'm also the producer of Abia Festival. And pretty much that's it. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So today, as I indicated in one of the posts I did some time ago, we'll be doing a bit more than just consider text. It's important for us to have a meeting on how to make the group better, how to make it more meat to purpose, and of course, also maybe be able to create a kind of structure that that becomes a rhythm that we can follow more easily. Deciding day of meeting, for instance, so that people can actually calendar it. Maybe second Saturday, first Saturday, whichever one, Sunday, that sort of thing. Issues like that, and then maybe content to also deepen the experience, improve the conversation that we have in the group, and maybe by extension, impact. Yeah. So all of those, we're hopeful that we'll have time to also take those ones in as well. As usual, we will not take a long time so that people can go back to their day schedules. Thank you. Tony Akiosho, our friend, our brother, our major intellectual capital. Yes, is moderating today. And the text we're considering was submitted by Kelvinmary, one of our members. Yes. Everything about it reeks massive creative power. So over to Toyin now at this point.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon very much. That very kind introduction. Egbon Bimbo. We know our Egbons. Tosin, the significant actress herself. You are going to give us a sense of a summary of what's your take. I mean, not your take yet, just a summary of material. 3 characters. You haven't read it. I wanted to do this gender thing. So we have a Tony.
Yeah, I mean.
Tony will do that. So what's it taking so far?
Okay. It's a story about a grieving mother holding. She's grieving her only son who passed, and she will just linger in his room and not come out of there, and like she just kept. And we then have a father who is not taking that sort of responsibility, emotionally speaking, for the family. And then we have Auli, is that her name? At the center of it all, that is at the receiving end from both. She is grieving, but nobody cares really about the fact that she's also grieving. And she's carrying the weight of the family through. So at the point I stopped reading the script or where I've reached, I understand that there is they are trying as much as possible to get the mother to recover, and there is also a pending case that's involving that is legal and all that. So, for my take, not my take, the summary of what I would like give is how is the fact that the mother, what's her name? Franca, yes, Franca is not moving on from where. I mean, she's not moving on, and she's becoming a liability for everybody, you know. She's becoming a liability for both mother and I think also for both the father. However, the script ends, I will see that. But I've actually read like 20, page 23, and so far, so good. It's a good script.
Okay. I wasn't in, I didn't, Tony, I wasn't asking you to tell us whether I was a good script. I'm not sure that we necessarily do the word good. We basically see how enriching, you know, from the perspective of humanism, these works are, you know, and I think that that's the purpose of engaging here, and how well the author has attended to not just what the teaching, I mean, the class teaches you to do, but actually what theater should aspire to. Yeah, everybody knows that I have a soft spot for Kelvinmary, but it still doesn't mean that we shouldn't know. So let me go to the oldest desk we have in the house and ask people.
No, why would you be asking?
No, I mean, we are on ground. I mean,
okay.
Apparently, apart from you, myself, and Tony, those who are on site, I mean, no one else has read.
Yeah.
And we can't be asking you.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to we now start, you know, from your perspective first, the fact that you consider we should read as an excerpt. So that becomes the takeoff.
Okay, there's a bit that has stuck with me since I read it. Okay. And that's the end. Okay. As it is now. Okay. You know, the end, the way the author cunningly seeks to resolve the burden of responsibility, because it seems to be going around, and there is only one person that neither parents were looking at for responsibility, and she now happens to be the one who was the cause in the first place of the death that they are grieving now in this text. That confession of how the guy died, what might have led to his death, and all that, really stayed with me. And I'm not too sure. Don't let me be judgmental. Okay, yes. And so that part,
so to read,
maybe the final scene.
Professor Dutola, I hope you are listening very carefully. Dr. Sanusi, I hope you are listening very carefully.
Yes.
Can I have your yes?
Yes.
I just
yes.
Sure that,
yes, we're listening.
Can we jump in as well?
And, yeah, I mean, maybe before we read, maybe you want to quickly
Yes, before we read, actually, Oga Bimbo just took. Actually, I think he went into my mind and just, took my own observation as well. To follow up on what Uncle Bim said, right? I also was a bit unsettled by the end of the play. And I thought, I began to ask myself questions. Did Anwuli do everything that she did out of guilt, which was not revealed to us until the end? Out of guilt to say, oh, I was actually the one who led to the death of my brother unconsciously, and therefore let me try and hold the household together. Let me be the fixer in this case, because that's what I got. She's just trying to fix the mother, make sure that she's all right, all the make sure she gets her tea, whatnot, and all that, get her ready for church. At the same time, trying to keep peace with the father, so that the father and mother are not at loggerheads. Meanwhile, although she brought it to our attention that she was actually ignored, nobody came for her. No, not matriculation. Was an
Graduation.
Yes, thank you. Graduation and all that. But she didn't bring that up. She wasn't annoyed at it. She didn't cause any drama as a result of that. So I was beginning to ask myself that this is a very clever way of saying that by the author or the writer, of saying that she absorbed all the blame until the truth came out, until the father said, yes, we have those boys, and I'll make sure that I will do everything within my power to ensure that they are persecuted. So yeah, that's also stuck with me. I just want to say that I'm in line with what Bimbo Manuel said about the ending. So let me stop here because I know other people will have contribution.
Okay, so let me quickly jump in before, since somebody has talked about the ending, I am interested in the beginning. And I must make a confession. As soon as I started to read, because I noticed that the Ogaga Ifowodu generation seemed to be interested in trauma. And Ogaga's PhD dissertation is actually on trauma. And I think he titled Healing the Traumatic Wounds of History is what he calls his own. And then Jumoke Verasimo is also interested in trauma. So when I started to read that, my mind went that this is about trauma and about grief. So I wanted to know which other kind of stage productions outside of Nigeria have also dealt with the issue of trauma. And the reason why I wanted that, why I wanted to know which other productions, was that the beginning was very slow, very repetitive, constantly leave that room, and it was just dragging. And I was saying to myself, Death and the King's Horseman is about trauma and about grief. But at the same time, there's entertainment in it. You get you get a sense of being entertained, watching Death and the King's Horseman. A son dies, the king also dies, but the way it is portrayed makes, not that it makes light of it, but it introduces some elements. So this is my take. That beginning, where all you were hearing was mommy leave that room, mommy leave that room, I was wondering what can interject. I know that the dress she wore on that day was the one she was wearing, but I was thinking of, is there nothing in that room that they could stumble upon, or is there no voice note that can interrupt and bring the voice of the dead, of Tony, back to life? As because all that lengthy opening was just building up, asking the mother to leave that room. And don't say I'm petty, but if you say so, it's okay. I actually counted how many times the word leave was used. There were 14 times in that thing. Leave the room, leave the room. And so it's like, yes, does it mean that in terms of dramaturgy, even in that space, is it not possible to introduce something else? And when the writer is ready, you probably might be able to take that. So if he also wants to, he can also go and look at a play called Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole is also about grieving. And then there's another one in which a daughter and the daughter was planning to kill herself. And for 90 minutes was preparing the mother that when she dies, this and this, and they were painting a situation of what might happen. Now, I'm not saying that the writer should do any of those, what the Rabbit Hole did, but my take for now is there any way he can interrupt without disrupting the mood? Because all Anuli was trying to do was to create a mood and to get the audience. And my discussion has been, what would an audience feel after a play and it's a heavy theme of grief and trauma? So I'm going to leave it at that. I probably might come back depending on what how the discussion goes. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, colleague. I actually felt a sense of languor. That pace, slow pace myself. But because and that's the problem with liking a particular author. I know that Kelvinmary likes to freeze a moment, place, a particular night or a particular morning, and just speak to that morning in the family. And so I've seen quite a number of displays like that. But of course, the difference between some of those ones like this is that those several characters are coming from some different background that they never, quite a number of them never knew about. So in the process of, trying to resolve whatever issues they're trying to resolve, they then paint some picture of, the past about this and that. There are several visual artists in Nigeria. Ben Osage, that is one who's whenever you see his painting is about, if this footballer is trying to trip it, you might not see the face of the footballer and even the legs, the way he has painted something that shows you this emotion of the footballer. And he just hangs it there. And another, yes, that's what Ben Osage was known for. Ben Osage belongs to generation of Kasidere and they basically, they're different in that way. They are not, some of the times they don't even necessarily do figurative in the figurative sense. But they can be quite abstract. So that's the sense that I get of the Kelvinmary play. But I still basically felt that sense of languor. And if there is anybody here who feels the same way, can we discuss that? Because it does look like even he himself finds what Kole has contributed quite enriching. You don't necessarily have to have counted the number of, but can we, before we have to read the I insist on. Yeah, Francis, you certainly read the text, right?
Francis, I hear you clearly.
All right.
Yes, about me, I hear you clearly when you sat up. I was going to say, could you please sit up so that we can hear you clearly?
Okay, now. I didn't know that was part of the critique. Go ahead now. You are not on stage.
No. I can't talk much where I am. I'm at the airport, and I can't be speaking here. So I'll just listen, and at the time, if I have time to get into a quieter place, then I'll come in. I'll ask to be brought in. Not ready now.
Make you not miss your flight too.
Nobe, welcome, Nobe Young. Nobe Young.
Unmute yourself.
Oh, wow, he said
That's not even him talking.
oh, he's not. Okay,
Yeah, let's go ahead.
okay, so let's go ahead. I mean, do you want to speak to that that part of it before? Yes,
Because I helped her because I thought we were going to be then go to that. So maybe we should just so that comments after that can then be brought.
So this is it. That should be.
We have the
madam. Good afternoon. You're welcome. Have you read the script? Oh, great. Okay, so can you speak to that sense of language? Maybe she. No, it doesn't matter. No, it's okay. That's even the reason why you should speak. Yeah, but you are correct.
I thought that I felt like there was no time. Perhaps we have time to do it. Appropriate what that. And the second one he was saying that you counted for content.
Yes.
I did count it. There was a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
So I agree with what he's saying that it was a bit. So I'm a fan of evolution.
Yes.
Continuous growth. I think that I like things to happen fast. So that for me was a little slow.
Okay.
But all in all, it's definitely know how to keep it going. As we know. I'm sorry, I'm not complicated. I'm just, but I have read it. I didn't enjoy it as much because I'm not a fan of dark drama or
Okay.
sad. I'm not a fan. I like things that keep me.
I'm not a fan of sad stories.
Okay, Well, I think that it was a good piece of work, and that at least I could read and enjoy. But it was a bit too sad.
So it's not always sad.
It's not always sad.
The only on-site play is probably Panty Liner.
Oh well, Jay was not
Even that. Yeah. Can we start? 37. No. It's 27, not 27 is far.
we want to get we can take it.
You can take from there. I mean, where is that where Daniel comes in?
No. That's the Franca comes in the end.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I know, but 27 that would be 15 pages. Really.
That was about 13 pages.
Although these things are short, those pages are short, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So should we? Since
maybe we should start from around 30.
Okay.
Yes. About 30. Where she's dragging the bag out.
Okay.
And Daniel stops her.
Okay.
Around 30.
Page what? Or what page?
30. All right. Oh, wow.
30.
Someone's very smart, yeah. Yeah, so we don't need any. If you want to, maybe. I can read from the screen. I can. Oh, that's amazing. So who is this? Okay, no. Okay, scroll up, please. Scroll up.
That would be 32, but As in,
Oh, is that how it works?
yeah.
So Daniel said we agreed, Franca.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it. No, you just passed it.
that's different.
That's it.
So we remember how it operates.
The beginning of the
Who is doing this? Is that Polly right?
Yes.
Interesting. Where is Polly? No.
Is it this place?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So are you
All right.
Just give me the responsibility.
Okay, so Daniel, Franca.
Why you
No. Let's leave him. Okay.
Uncle B is running from
There
that.
are three. Okay.
He's running from Daniel. Let Uncle B Daniel.
Okay.
It's just two female one.
Okay.
Only car. Uncle B later.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
See, so Franca, Daniel. Right. No, don't worry. We'll get back to you. She's an actor. I want
She's an actor as well.
Oh, yeah,
She's an actor.
She's a thespian and publisher as well.
All right, okay. So, you have to take
Publisher.
I've taken it. So that's Franca, Daniel, and
I will leave it.
will you do it? Okay, madam. So can you see it will get there? It will get there. All right, so we're
See
good.
how we'll be there. The next page.
So we agreed, Frank. Oh, please, you, and then you will come with it. You will see. We agreed.
Only those stage
We agreed, Franca. We agreed that I would build something for this family. Every promotion I took, every late night, every missed birthday, I could not be there because I was choosing all of you.
Oh, please. Prove yourself every single time. You are evil.
What would you have me do? What? I apologize. I have tried to be there. I've tried to help you here. I've tried to help you move forward. But every time I reach for you, you pull further away. Every attempt I make becomes another crown. So then,
Tell me then.
huh?
Tell me then.
Oh, tell me then, Franca, how exactly does one help someone who does not want help?
You can say anything now to make yourself feel better. That boy needed. He needed his father, and we're not there. We're not there, Daniel.
And I cannot change that, I know, but I'm sorry.
No, you can't.
I'm here now. Let me help you, please.
Now? Now, Daniel, now.
But I'm trying to fix things. Let me help. At least let me try.
Help. Help, Daniel. You think this is a problem to solve? You think that if you say the right words, call the right people, pay the right lawyers, make the right tea, then one morning I'll wake up and say, Daniel, thank you, I am healed. No. You know why? Every time I don't hold it against them. You see, you want to heal a wound created, and you want this healing to be your penance.
I'm trying to stop you from drowning.
No, you're trying to stop yourself from watching me drown. There is a difference.
Hello. Please tell me, what should I do? Should I stand here and watch you destroy yourself?
Stand there. Indifferent. Don't explain me. Don't diagnose me. Don't fix me. Just stand there. But I stood there when they brought my son's body home. I wanted my husband to stand beside her. He broke it. Not just that, but days and weeks and months after. Instead, it became this. That is what she buried my son beside his.
Mommy,
But I have to hurry up. Hurry you to the park.
I just wanted off.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing. Maybe because the two of you have finally decided. One year, one whole year. Here's the day you both suddenly found your voices. Do you know what the funny thing is? Either of you is you're only waiting for the other person to talk. Oh, Daddy, please, can I finish? For once, can somebody let me finish? Every day I wake up wondering which version of this house I wake up to. I step out of the house and I'm wondering what version of this house I will be returning to. Will mommy eat? Will daddy come home to me? Will today be quiet? Will somebody shout? Will mommy cry? Will I have to pretend I am okay again? It's tiring. It's tiring. It's so frustrating. Every day I have lived for two of you, and I keep up appearances for this household. And I'm the child here. I have not mourned my brother because I can't mourn him. I can't mourn him, and it hurts. No, Daddy. Do you know what grief has done to me? It has made me become both of you. I fix things now, and then I go to my room and cry, where no one can see me. I cook, I clean, I answer calls, I smile for visitors, and even in church, I book masses. I remember the birthdays you no longer care about. I remind you of church. I remind mommy to eat. I became the parent in this house. Still, no one has asked me who is taking care of me. How are you winning? And when you even manage to, you only do just so to fill up awkward silences. You know what annoys me the most? Both of you keep saying, my son, my son. You both missed my convocation. Tony wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. I know because he was always there for me. He was.
Okay. She sits on the bed. They both look at her themselves, not knowing what to do. Franca sits beside her. She doesn't touch her. She doesn't say anything.
I spent the whole year watching both of you die. You died with him. You buried yourself in this room. And no matter how many times I came visiting, you did not see me. I wanted so much to die with him too. But because he did not deserve to die, he didn't. Sorry.
Sorry.
I know, and it's sad. I lost him too. Nobody fights over my grief. Nobody asks me if I'm healing. Nobody asks me if I'm sick. Because I'm useful. As long as I'm useful, I'm fine.
Sorry.
You're not sorry. You want me to keep quiet. Maybe I will do just that. Keep quiet.
Okay, sometimes. Just don't know. Whenever I try to summon the will to have a conversation with him, You must be trying yourself to them. You think you know to wake you up. Don't you feel it? I'm sorry.
His wife says nothing wrong with that.
You understand.
They understand that your wife is a difficult or even man and kicked her husband out of their maturity. You go there to show them the version of you that everybody calls to mind. The husband that is dependable, responsible. I'm losing our daughter, and I would forgive you.
Kole, please, Kole.
Yes.
You are scrolling up too fast. I mean, that's not where we are now.
Okay. I can hardly hear the other person. Let's see.
So what happened was that Tosin decided that we would be a very quiet.
It was difficult to follow, so I was just using my.
I think that because for the purpose of the people who are here, it's not the play yet.
Yeah. So don't move.
Okay.
So where are we? Where are we?
This is where we are.
This is where we are.
36,
Okay.
top of 36, where we are, yeah.
Okay.
You lost me already.
Okay. They both look at her as she stands on the bed, walks towards the door, facing them.
I don't even know what my grief looks like anymore. Because every time he wants to come out, one of you needs something. And even now that I'm trying to bear my soul, you, mommy, you need something. You can have it. Go on.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my love. I'm sorry.
You want to know why I defended Daddy? Because she needed someone to be. You want to know why I defended mommy? Because she needed someone to say. And as always, I stick in the middle, forgotten, never chosen. Neither of you choose me. You, mommy, you choose Tony. Even after a year that you choose one. And Tony, whatever you can manage of his memory. Still, I choose you.
I won't break down tears. They both need to go to her, but she signals they leave her alone. They stop. Neither parent knows what to do. Anwule slowly lowers herself into the chair. She begins crying quietly, and then she breaks into a wailing. They don't console her. They try to cry individually. Then she slowly stops crying and begins to gather herself. Silence. Daniel stands up and goes to his bag, which is by the table. He brings out the document.
I'm glad you both are here. Maybe this will help us heal. We found them. Tony is representing us, and they will do time, he assures me.
Okay.
Yes, they will. With every ounce of blood I have left, I will make sure of it.
That gives him a look of gratitude. He acknowledges her. Anwule looks on.
You know what ought me? You know what ought me from signature? It is
Lee, I am sorry. Please forgive us.
No, I am sorry. It is you who should forgive. I cannot bear this. It is probably my soul. I can't fix this. I can't fix this. I don't know how.
What are you talking about?
Only you can talk to us.
Sorry, guys.
The night before you died,
Sorry.
the night before he died, I came to see him. He sat where Daddy was sitting and he could see me. He knew something was wrong. I was afraid. I didn't want to tell him, but he kept asking. He wouldn't stop asking. And I told him how the same boys cornered me. I told him, I ran. I told him they wanted to. I told him not to do anything. I begged him. He hugged me. He said, nobody will touch me.
No, no.
The next day, I came to his room, but he had left. I asked you, Nami, you said he hugged me and left. I wish I kept quiet. He would have come home.
That's why he wasn't going to school. He was going after them. No, no. Why didn't you come to me? Why?
He saw him and I thought him.
Don't you ever carry that. Do you hear me? Don't you ever carry that.
She wails as Franca pulls her into an embrace. The paper she rumpled and tossed into her pocket full of. Daniel walks to them and picks them up. He looks at the paper.
Give us.
Silence. Daniel is broken. Franca continues holding on. Blackout.
What do we make of this ending? Can we discuss that before we go back to the beginning? I mean, we've got our next step now. And so you guys have a sense of how this would look on stage. Is this a kind? This is not about being excited. You know, I mean, it's not that people will necessarily. What's your name, madam? As Tommy says, it's not something, you know, Bolanle or St. Peter's. So it's basically about how, you know, I mean, this particular family has lived and how they come. This is not necessarily a closure. I mean, that people look for when they go to see theater. But, and you know, the last time we were here, we were talking about, you know, if you want to call it 7 stations of the cross theater, you know, in a sense, I mean, what you're looking for, what is conflict, what is, you know. Lucky, because you are coming late, you are going to be punished to explain, I mean, to us. I mean, because I know you would have read it. You probably read it this morning on your phone. So this sort of the resolution by the playwrights is that, I mean, you had a film that sort of also, I mean, was also very traumatic. I mean, your only movie, and it also ended with people wondering exactly, did that guy die? Was that really the kiss of death? You know, I mean, does this resonate with you? How do you see this? You know, what's your take on this kind of?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I joined late. I'm actually commuting. I left Ilefe this afternoon on my way back to Lagos. Okay, so I like you guessed, I read it this morning, and I enjoyed it, right? But in terms of the resolution, again, like I said when I read the last script that we discussed, I'm putting everything down to short story form or format. Otherwise, the resolution is not dramatic enough. When you're looking for catharsis, when you're looking for an emotional release. You don't get that. Well, I did not get that from the resolution here, because okay, so we got used to Awuli, who is more like the one parenting her parents all through the story, and then in the end we find out she's been hiding a critical. She's been hiding a critical piece of information which perhaps could have helped resolve the situation from the onset. Okay, so there's investigation going on. The police are investigating the case 1 year on, and she kept this vital information, which perhaps could have resolved that case within a month if she had released it at the right time. So, is she still the heroine of this story, or is she now part of the villain? All those things, I think needs to be examined properly to be able to define her character, as well as properly understand her role in the resolution of the conflict. Well, that's just I don't know. Maybe other people have better ways to describe it, but that's the way it occurred to me.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, I like the fact that you mentioned. I mean, I'm not the most excited by your response, but I like the fact that you mentioned certain words, heroes, villains. Does anybody know Soyado Sumu here? Now, Soyado Sumu was the man who wrote, who breathed life into the village headmaster. Ambassador Segun Olusola wrote 2 pieces of, that was and that in TV, people take that kind of thing seriously. He has written so they will still keep on saying that, this is, but it was so I was growing up in the 80s when I met Mr. Dosimo. He was dreaming of what is going on now, that we should evolve to have daytime soap operas and co. As of that time, that was his. What was it? But he told me something that in his own world of theater, there are no heroes and there are no villains. If you watch Oshofison a lot, there's nobody who is a hero and there's nobody who is a villain. And I also think that life basically is like that. That's number one. The second thing is that, if theater is, a mirror of life, why do we expect that there will be some formal resolution at the end of a play?
But you have always been against that.
Against formal resolution?
No, that
it
leaves you. What's the word that you like to use? You're fond of that.
No,
that like you're yearning for something.
Well, that's different from me expecting that it is resolved. You understand? I'm not. Okay, so I don't.
Hello.
Look, man, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
I hope that you can talk to this ending so that we can go back.
It's the ending I want to speak to. It's the ending. It's the ending. Of course, I've got a lot to say about the beginning as well, but it's the ending. The immediate reaction is, oh, okay, maybe there's another scene after this, right? That's what I got until I saw blackout. End or so. I'm a little bit unsettled. I'm like, does it achieve that effect? All the buildup of the mother not wanting to forgive the father because she believes he's the cause of it. There's so much tension about, oh, I won't forgive you. You caused the death of my son, blah, 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 And all of a sudden, this piece of information comes in. One, I ask myself some question. would she have volunteered this information? I mean, Anwuli, would she have volunteered this information to say that, oh, it was because of me he went out? If the father had not said, look, we caught those boys and I will make sure that they are killed, I mean, they are dealt with. You understand? And then the second question is that the magic wand that cured the mother all of a sudden? And then she said, no, don't say that. You are not the cause of it. You know, how does that juxtapose with all the build-up, emotional build-up against the father and all the whatever? And they say, no, it is not your fault. Don't say that. You know, so this doesn't, you know, when you have an open-ending play, you know, it's open-ended. Okay, fine for you to do that. But this is unsettling. It's not like it's open-ended. It looks like something that will continue in the next scene for me. That's the way I react to it. You understand? So it's not like Leke said, it doesn't have that dramatic ending. Perhaps I feel, oh, maybe this will continue in the next scene and then it will properly addressed. You understand? That's the feeling I got. Let me just stop here so that I don't talk on and on and on.
Thank you very much, Lukman, for being very kind to everybody in the audience. I know that there's always a difference between a director written play and a writer written play. You understand? I mean, so the director always knows in his head how he's going to direct this thing to achieve a certain end. It's not my place to talk about that here. Kelvinmary will explain whatever he has in his head at the end of the conversation. But I want to quickly jump to Tomi and ask her, you know, even though she summarized and we have a sense, we have an idea of what she feels like, but I also want her to just basically extend a little bit of, I mean, her own thinking of the final and what she would prefer. I mean, if
The signal is low.
It was interesting that as you spoke, it came back.
You know,
I don't know whether they realize that they're frozen.
No, I can't carry on. Look on. They're on ground. But you mind John, that was journey. People on ground.
The internet disappeared, right?
Is that what happened?
I think that was.
But they're back now.
Yeah, they're back.
So let's go on, please.
I did back. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We are back. We can hear you. We are back.
All right. Okay. So Tomi, please. You have a. Okay.
I think that it was a.
Okay.
So I think that I'm looking at it in a way that we are looking at it. So yes, she has been grieving not properly. She has been grieving, and then she has gone round and round and round. And it was the fact that her daughter had expressed that she was carrying that level of guilt that shocked her into acceptance that no, I do not want you to carry that guilt. So that in itself is enough to help anybody realize that, oh yeah, it can jar you into reality. So maybe yes, that might not be the resolution, the kind of resolution we are looking for. But I think it's a good resolution because sometimes in life when you are going on and on, sometimes when we have faces you want to take it and then immediately helps you realize what you have not realized in such a long time. So I think it was a very good resolution. I think that that's the best part in our opinion. I think that's the best part of the plan. And I like the fact that it was open-ended enough for any media, anyone that experiences the work to draw an interpretation of it. So you can decide that, oh, thereafter, the culprits were all tried and they went to jail, or thereafter, the family came together and became a more cohesive unit, or because of what has been said, the father then realized that he was not at fault at all in that minute, and then he could now make the mother and his daughter who had previously seen him as the villain in the story, he will make them now the hero. Because he didn't have the army, so that they had
Okay.
so, yeah, I think it was a very good resolution.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. I didn't necessarily want you to say good or bad. Yeah, no, it's all right. I mean, it's good to know where you stand. I mean, completely. Thank you. So, I mean, now that we've all, discussed the end, let's now move up because what Lukman who said no, it was Kole who introduced the Lango element, and so let's go and discuss that. Let's read an excerpt and then discuss that, and then we can then ask everybody what are their best moments, and then we hand over to the author. Bimbo again. Which part of the up that you know? That's the lawyer. Which part of the up do you want?
Well, it
wasn't your thing.
Yes. Yes. You see, in the first place, I want to say that this kind of theme, grief, trauma, and that genre, I think it takes a lot of courage to write. Yeah. Because once you launch, you have to remain in there for your big point to be made. And I think Kelvinmary did that. However, because of the theme itself, it would take some trickery, some ingenious trickery to be able to lift it into the realm where emotions can be shared. So it is not just one level. It can vary in levels and description, like the example that Colleague gave with
Elements in the game.
With Eleshi.
Okay.
Yeah, with Eleshi Oba. It deals with tragic, it deals with grief. However, however, you will find points where, if you're that inclined and you are able to connect with the moment, you may be able to laugh in spite of the weight of the theme, However, this is just the beginning. It took me 3 starts. Yes. Because the language is heavy. It's heavy. And I kept playing in my mind, how will this play on stage? Yes. How will this play on stage? Yeah. And how is he likely to pace up this kind of conversation in ways that we will not become we won't feel too burdened down by all of that, and we have nowhere to go. We're trapped in that moment. But like I said, it takes a lot of courage to write this. It is because it is not popular theater. It is not popular theater. If you are thinking of making money from this, I think it will do well in adoption in the universities. Yeah. But again, because of we all see that they don't even start the conversation, the real conversation, until the end. Yes. So I think that is why it became very top heavy. Because that is what will be the discomfort. That will be what will be responsible probably for the number of leave the room that Collier counted. Because they really don't have anywhere to go. And I found that paradoxical, by the way. Leave the room. Yet the play is not leaving.
Okay, so so you see where I was I lost my manners a bit. I wanted to report him. When you mentioned death and King's husband again, it's not. I mean, I should have said my mind when Kole said, after Kole had mentioned that. And the point is that Death and the King's Husband is an atmospheric play. It's basically multi settings. There's the market square. There's the I mean, and that's what Shoyinka wanted, the festival on stage in a sense, even though it's trauma. But this is a one-room play. You understand? It might as well even just have been those two characters. I mean, the first two before Daniel came in. So really, it's unfair to keep on comparing it. What I feel that the author would have done was a pacing. I mean, you see this, and then you see that, and then that sort of thing. You are discussing something. Okada man is screaming in the backyard. Once someone wants to deliver something in the house, and they have to ignore him because mom is not really interested in it. Thank you. It's all right now. I'm not planning to get So yeah, this is off the camera. All right, so can we read I mean, let's just read the first. Okay. No, Bito, do you want to say something?
I'm going to switch device.
All right, okay.
Apologies. I messed up today again. I forgot my laptop.
No, it's all right.
Oh, the battery.
Yeah, so the battery is low.
So we're thinking, okay.
We'll switch the device for about 20 minutes. Then from there, we can just switch to individual device.
Okay.
Sorry about
that. You mean in that time?
Like at 5 o'clock, we have to switch to our phones.
Oh, wow.
Because of
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
But I can hear you.
Yeah, I can still keep on talking. Okay, we need to read. Should we read pages 1 to 15? I mean, that sort of. I mean, the last one was 15. I mean,
maybe we can read less.
Okay.
Because of the time that we have.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. So that we can wrap up because of the party. Anthony, we will sanction you. You can't be dealing with elders and the. These are people. Okay, so we can't again see that.
I think if we read the first 5 pages,
okay,
we'll get a sense of
what it is. Okay, so there's no Daniel now. There's only just Anwuli and Franca. So and Anwuli has to say that Franca is so upset.
Let us switch roles.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you do Franca now.
Yes.
So you do Anwuli now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I said it's okay.
It's on.
Yeah.
I'll just
Because of the distance
Okay, like
going from
Okay, not going to. Oh, it's not doing it.
yes, do I get an appointment?
sorry.
Let me find it.
Actually have 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Scroll up, Professor.
Is it the beginning?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah, five minutes. I mean, 5 pages. Pages 1 to 5.
Okay, 1 to 5. Okay.
Yeah. And then we discuss that, and then everybody will talk about their high moments, their low moments, and then we go.
Is it this place?
Yes, you can see
The first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the first dialogue.
We will introduce the play. Okay, there until round listens.
So, a teenage boy's room. Okay. A teenage boy's room. A football jersey hangs from a chair. Books remain stacked on a desk. A school bag leans against the bed. Family portrait hanging from a football match the family attended. The room looks abandoned and maintained at the same time. The silence feels inhabited. There are two bedside drawers flanking the bed. In the corner is a reading table or desk, and in front of it is a chair. Franca, 40, enters the room slow, in no rush, and walks straight to the bed. She takes a seat at the edge of his bed, holding a picture of the whole family. A clear contrast between her aged look and... Yep. Okay. A clear contrast between her aged look and the childlike nature of the room. Anwuli, 21, her daughter walks into the room unnoticed.
You have to go to bed. You have to be up early for church tomorrow.
Is your father back?
No.
Did he call?
No, but I'm sure he's on his way.
He's on his way.
Mommy.
You know it's a year today. I lost him. It's a year today I lost him. That we lost him. I don't even know how time flies in this hell I'm in.
I mean, I know how hard today is. You have gone through this. Something in Tony's room, but don't break it back.
There's nowhere I belong in this world now but here. My baby. It was so normal that morning, chatty and restless. He asked for yam and egg. He said he needed all the energy for his football match that day. How could the world be so wicked? How could I have known I would feed him for the last time?
Only you've been doing well this few months. I mean, shouldn't be in this room today, please. I made your cup of now tea. It's in your room. Go to your room and have your tea. And I'm sure that is also glad.
I'm not leaving here. I'm not leaving this room.
Mommy.
You can go. I'll sleep here.
Mommy, stop this thing. No, stop it.
You know, when I got the call that Monday morning, my heart broke. My chest tightened, like there was a rock ruthlessly crushing it. All I could think of was why him? What could I have done differently for him? What would make them hate him so much that they would take his life?
Mommy.
It's only your father that arrested them when it first started. But no, it didn't. He looked me in the eyes and told me he has to stand up for himself at some point. And now, look at him. He stood up for himself and they punished him for it. How do you leave your child vulnerable? Your father is evil.
Oh, please.
I can't forgive him. Oh, Daniel, you did this one. You do this one.
Mommy, you need to leave this room. You need to feel better. So we have church tomorrow and you need to sleep. Mommy, please leave this room.
You are right. I'll get my things and leave the room.
I'll get them for you.
Can I just mourn my son? Can I mourn him in peace without interruption?
Owl is shocked. She tries to speak, but the words will not form.
Every day you barge in without permission. Mommy, leave this room. Mommy, leave this room. Why should I leave this room? Why? When I begin to make a connection for us to have conversation, you barge in. You ruin things, just like your father. He runs away. He runs away. How will I come out of mourning if I do not properly mourn? How do I mourn my son?
That is all you have done since he died. This house has become colder because Tony died. It doesn't matter if the house is on fire. Tony has died and so the world has burned for all you care. All you have been saying for 1 whole year is my son died and I want to mourn him.
My son died, Anwuli. My son died. And maybe one day you will have a son and it dies just so you can understand how I'm feeling.
Owl stares in disbelief. She makes to walk out of the room and then turns back to Franca.
Everybody asks about you. Everybody. Church people, Father Mike, neighbors, Auntie Cecilia, everybody comes and mother this. She eating, is she sleeping? We have not been seeing her. I make sure we are fine. It doesn't matter what it is. I make sure you are fine. And no, I am not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, someone make sure you have been looked after.
I'm sorry I went too far.
It's fine. Because I understand that. I understand perfectly well how my mother feels about me and what she wishes for me.
Don't be ridiculous, Anwuli. I did not mean any of that. I already apologized. Besides, I don't think I have capacity to feel worse than I already feel right now.
Always.
Anwuli,
It's fine, Mommy. Your team must have gotten it all.
I will make another one.
Okay, ma'am. Do you remember my publication? My graduation from university?
Of course
3 months ago.
Of course I remember.
What color was my dress?
Exactly.
Exactly.
You won't understand. I don't understand. You know what they want to tell. No, I did. I do. Okay, you want to.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you want to. So.
Mommy, it's fine. I'm not angry about it. I was angry, but now it's almost something. I remember standing outside taking pictures, everybody smiling and saying, congratulations. And I just kept looking towards the gate, waiting for you. Yeah, we mother people talk because of your brother. Everybody on this field, everybody. Nobody asked me anything. I was writing my exams when he died, and nobody asked me if it was difficult for me. How I managed to graduate. We were supposed to be graduating on the same day, but no one has asked me how I finished through. You didn't show up.
I wanted to come. I even dressed up. I got dressed down. I got ready, sat in the car, drove out of the house, and just as I made a right turn, I saw a boy crossing the road. He was about his age, had a bag strapped on his back like Tony would, and I couldn't breathe.
So you went back to never thought, never spoke about it. The word. Of course, it must have been difficult. You and that. The kids is a different book together. Something but you I lost my brother and my mother is okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I only people.
For many things to be sorry for. So many things. And I'm not sure this is the day or the time, or even the room to have this conversation. I need to go and prepare for job tomorrow. I'm trying to see classes at 9 a.m.
Anwuli looks at her, hoping she would say something, but Franca does not have the words. Anwuli leaves. Franca sits on the bed, gently brushing her hands against the sheets. She looks to the pillow as though she's talking to a form on the bed. She keeps the gaze and then removes her face. She looks on, defeated, staring into the void, almost like a jolt. She stands and walks to the wardrobe to bring out her box. She drags out the first one, brings out her clothes from the wardrobe, and places them on the bed beside her. She walks back to the wardrobe. She finds something. It is a dress. She stops, slowly walks back to the bed, clutching hard at the dress. As she brings it close to her mouth, she lets out a heart-wrenching cry. Anwuli walks back in. Franca does not notice her. She walks to her and sits by her on the bed. For a while, she says nothing. She places a hand gently on her mother's back. Franca leans into it. She cries involuntarily, but not loudly.
That's it. So we can have a conversation around this. I mean, Kelvinmary is trying to. But believe me, I actually felt a sense of pacing here than I thought before.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no belief.
Once the characters.
Yeah. There's
And there's the cast behind it, yeah.
more than the general thing that I thought I. So let's talk about this early thing. Feel bad.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody comes first.
Are you sure this is?
Yes, she's not talked.
Okay, so we can't.
Yeah.
Is it that?
No, you can just speak to it. They can hear us.
Yeah. So, colleague, now that's the beginning that you are interrogating.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, I almost saw. You know what Elder Bimbo says, that is there any way in our suggestions that can help the playwright reform this? And I've been wondering, of all the things we have said, what will this playwright, if he was going to take us serious and take any of our suggestions? So at that point where we were about stopping,
is it about taking us seriously, really? Okay, but
now,
go ahead.
I mean, does he have to take us seriously? Well, let him speak for himself. But I'm hungry for Tony's voice. Tony is dead.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Is there, with technology now, maybe while she was fiddling,
Tony needing voice notes.
can she maybe a voice note that she probably left for the mother while she was flipping something. Who is Tony? What kind of child is he? And maybe he left a voice note, something light, saying whatever it is, that will throw us off a little from this, leave the room, and the woman not leave. So if we interrupt but not disrupt, Tony's voice suddenly come from a voice note and says something goofy to the mother that also, this kind of, you remember and you're sad. And then whatever it is, it continues. But at least that unity of space, because you would see, I have been trying to figure out the time all of this is happening. Your father will soon come. Looks like it's evening. And when does it end? So it looks like, to me, there's a unity of space is one place. There is a unity of time, because it looks like it just happened. Everything happened in one day or one evening. But,
yeah.
so I'm expecting, can we break without necessarily a flashback, but Tony's voice comes, we hear Tony. So because Tony is one of the characters that they just refer to. We never hear him, we never see him, we will never see him, he's dead. But with technology, maybe, just maybe, he can bring the voice in. So that gives some kind of I don't know. Are you all still there? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
Something
that would be my suggestion, to just see how we can break that monotony that I was complaining about. Thank you.
Tony, I mean, did you feel the same way that he feels?
Yes.
I mean, I don't now feel that same way.
I felt the same way, and I wanted a little more. Let's not, when we talk about trauma and grieving, right? We usually talk about it as people really mourning, crying, and doing things. But there are other ways that I felt trauma could also be explored in the characters, right? So, for instance, people can process trauma by being too jovial. And maybe underneath it, they are really hiding something.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, maybe if we could also explore other aspects that people have not explored when talking about trauma, that would have brought some more diluted the normal thing we see whenever people say I'm grieving. Another suggestion I felt, and that will be in line with Dr. Cole's suggestion about like bringing Tony into the scene. When she said, "Can't I mourn my son in peace?" Right? I felt a little more should have been done to that line. Because people who mourn don't even really say they are mourning. I mean, that's a line that we can really expand a little bit. For instance, can't I listen to his voice note in peace again? Can't I relieve? That's what people really, so if we can put those out, instead of stating the obvious that she's mourning, can we not put that she's mourning in the mouth of the character? So we feel it and see it, rather than her just saying, "I'm mourning," if you get what I mean. So if we can explore and expand that a little bit, and that is where Dr. Cole's suggestions can really come in. It can just be, I mean, she's done it in other places, but that line is a possible place where you can easily play around with things and bring Tony to life. So we know the kind of person that he really was a little more. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm supposed to be moderating. I shouldn't have a comment.
Yes, it's fine.
I actually wanted, before Tosin says anything, I was actually going to refer to her recent play, because somebody actually did say, they had a debate after the play.
Yeah.
And somebody actually did say something like, "Why don't you bring external characters, voice notes?"
Yeah.
So when we're having this, I'm wondering, is it that we're talkative, like that? Because this sort of thing, I've seen this kind of thing. I mean, the last thing I want to get on that
I don't know if I am allowed to speak here.
on that.
On the beginning, yeah.
The connector.
Oh, okay. I will say that.
The emotion they were going through. And this is the kind of thing that I saw. I didn't see anybody doing voice notes or anybody do. I mean, there wasn't even anything showing that showed us other than the sound that can. So, but that's just my own opinion. I mean, sorry. I mean, I'm not supposed to say anything. So that's why I was making that sense.
I forgot what I wanted to say to what you said. But piggyback on what you said. I also think that we have become such an audience that is used to, and this is not a slight to anybody, it's just what we have become. It's the culture that we are now beginning to embrace in Nigerian theater. So we've become such an audience that not necessarily appreciates the art of what has already been established. I don't make any sense. So yes, feedback is great and all that, but sometimes it's just take what you've been given without having to say yes, without having to edit it, right? Without having to say, okay, maybe if and it's possible that that voice note may make things better, but it's also possible that it overflows something that doesn't even need to be overflown, right? And about the maybe using a voice note and maybe the woman not saying, can you let me mourn my son in peace, blah blah blah. I feel like she can say that, and I also think that at this point, for Franca,
you haven't said it. You have to say something. I don't know.
Pele. So because for Franca, at this point, I think she even knows, but I think that it gets to a point where you now start to act out.
Yes.
In your grief.
Yes.
That's what she's doing because that's why she could tell the daughter, maybe when you have a son and your son dies, there is no reason on this earth he would ever say that kind of thing. Do you get? So a lot of the things she's doing right now, she just wants to punish them.
Yes.
A lot of what she's doing, she just wants to punish them. So her saying stuff like, let me just mourn my son. This is something she will say naturally, like in real life. If this happens to someone, it's something she can say it 50 billion times. Just so that they can, in case you've forgotten that my son died and I'm mourning him, let me tell you so that you can feel like that's the place that she's in. So I don't necessarily believe that, that should be changed.
Okay. Okay, so just said it.
I'm saying it.
That sort of thing that we're talking about how it played about.
We can't hear publisher. Maybe you should lean on.
Sure, sorry. Sir, no, can you just speak to this?
Okay. Yeah. I hope you are hearing me now. I'm asking Bisola to speak to the early part. That we just read now. We all have different perspectives. There are people here who are comfortable with the way it has gone. They haven't told me necessarily that they are comfortable with the pacing. but they are comfortable with the material as deposited, you know, and I know that Kole is not, but I know that Tosin is. So I'm taking some kind of, and Tony basically wants the whole thing overhauled. You know, he wants. All right, okay, so he wants a slight editing. You know, he thinks that there should be something that, I mean, it takes a little bit of, it takes a slice of Colin's argument and wants a bit of an examination about the early part of the play. So that's where we are. I would like to hear Dr. Sanusi speak, and if Nobet can really join us. And no, BC is going to now talk. Yeah, so
Okay. Okay, after BC, I'll talk, Abi. I don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah, this.
So I think what I'm going to add to it is to lean into what Mr. Tony said about us seeing the character, Tony, in having a feel of the character as well, even if we can't see him, but let us also able to put ourselves in the shoe of the mother, what she's actually missing, what she's actually mourning about the son. However, we want to be able to interpret that. Maybe it's in a voice note, maybe it's reenacting some, some memories of him or saying certain things about him. I want to believe also because when the play is actually being seen, the set design is going to help us understand, more of that, more than words. Maybe his room, the way the room is decorated and certain elements that would also help us, understand the character. But again, in a way to also like embed his person also beyond just mentioning his name. I think I'm going to lean towards that. Beyond that, I think the pacing, I can't really say much about the pacing because of the way we're reading it, yeah, completely. So I can't really say much about the pacing. But yeah, that would be my just from the little that I have.
Hello? So could I come in now?
You haven't commented on the early part, right?
Yeah. So I think that I related. I related a lot with what he said more than what he said because. So I think that we are used
some of us are online.
Over sharing. I think that if a play like this was written maybe 25 years ago when voice notes were not available, we wouldn't need to spice it up with something like this. I understand the need for understanding who Tony was before he died, but I don't think it's necessary because, like I said earlier, we must give the audience allowance to build the characters in their minds. So if we oversimplify it by giving them everything, I'm leaning towards the writer anyway. So yeah. So I think that is
about the relationship later
with the writer. Yeah. So. So I think that it's not necessary to put in something like a voice note, or especially because it would probably overshadow everything we are reading. A woman like Franca, who has grieved her son that much, if she had a voice note, would listen to it. Oh, we are talking about 14 times that leave the room as the voice note would overshadow everything that she would say. In fact, it will play on speakers all around the house. Exactly. So I don't think it is necessary. I think it is, we are making a good situation complicated. So I think that the play, reading it again actually gives me newer perspective. When I read it the first time, I was just reading it. So it was a bit sad for me. Experiencing it again gives it some more life. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of yeah, and the way Anwuli is reacting to Franca now, I can see it again based on analysis of the ending. So yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, so when can I just everybody, if I was to write this play, I'll just write it from my own perspective. So this is not like to sort of impose. It's just to say, well, if I was, it's a good work. I know you don't like the use of the term. Yeah. So at this stage is okay. What I'm just saying is, well, if I was to do it, or if I was given the opportunity to advise, right? So I think the final decision stays with the playwrights, right? Okay, this works, this doesn't work. Anybody who picks up a story like this will just approach it from their own unique style, unique perspective, unique approach. But at the end of the day, if you read the description of the characters from the beginning and everything, such plays will not make sense until they actually be, not like they make sense now, but the full import of it all comes when you see it on stage, because at this point, we even read it, different characters putting in life into it, and we realized that the beginning is not as slow as we thought it. It wasn't as sad as we thought it is and all that. So, yeah, that's my comment.
You can say it once
I'm not asking.
club. I have book club. Oh my God. I have book club in Yaba. No, it's not just for women, it's for like a group of people. So I wanted to say that so we pick one book every month, different books every month. I think this month is Anxious People or something like that. So I wanted to say that from what Mr. Tony just said, that particular scene that we just finished reading in the beginning, it makes a lot more sense to me now to say, for example, if you were to merge both together, the girl kept saying, "Mommy, just leave this room. Mommy, just leave this room. Mommy," she said like 60 billion times. Yeah. "Mommy, just leave this room." It's possible, and I think that if you remember, Mr. Tony, my play, every time it said, "Excuse me, boss, you have a text message." Like every time a text message came in fact, the audience now said, "Oh my God, can you just give her like good news?" So it's possible that playing the voice notes, like she said, does something for the audience. So for example, in the set, if she goes into the room and she's doing his things, whatever, playing his voice note, that particular, maybe the last voice note that he sent her or whatever, over and over again, even the audience will get tired at a certain point, from hearing that particular voice note. So it may not run across the entire story, but in that moment, in that scene, it also, sends the message of the girl, saying, "Mommy, can you stop listening to this? Can you just leave his room?" I feel like it adds more to it as opposed to just leave the room. Yeah, like merging both together.
I have something to say before
people abroad. Let me check if they. Nobody's happy.
Lookman is there. Holly is there.
All right. So, Dr. Sanusi, do you have anything to say at this point about? We're talking about the early. Okay, now we're talking about the early part, but now I want us to move it forward a little bit, and for each of us, while we're responding to this, to talk about our best moments of the play. And then when everybody has talked about that, we'll now talk about our low moments of the play, and then the author can then respond. Is that okay? So, Lukman, go ahead.
Sorry, sir?
Lukman, no. I'm saying that I want your perspective on the beginning of the play. I haven't called you yet on that, and that's what I'm doing.
All right, yes.
Kimbo here, so I mean, what he wants to talk about, and it's not necessarily beginning or whatever. He has a different But I'm asking you for having talked about the resolution. I wanted to talk about the earliest part and your best and worst moments of the play, generally, just basically those, and you wrap up on your own, and then we'll go to the next person, you know, whether it's Kole, whether it's Nobel, who is now ready for us, and whether it's Leke. I mean, can we do it like that?
Okay, I'll try and stick to the structure as you've laid it down.
All right.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. I've been listening to what other people have been saying, and I've been taking, notes as well. For me, that was my precise impression of the beginning of the play when I read it. The beginning was belabored, which was just going on and on, repetitive, especially get out of this room, just like it's been pointed out, right? But I haven't listened to everybody, and I thought, okay, at this point will be the director's call, because however heavy it is, it depends on the director's interpretation of this to bring it to life, in as much as we may say, oh, it is very repetitive, but it depends on the style and the technique the director brings in here, to interpret, to birth bring us into the world of the play itself, because when you look at other two handlers, three handlers, they are very racy. Is it was Herbert want to talk about? Is it I'm Not Rappaport? Is it Ceremony in Dark Old Men? Is it so many? You understand? They draw you into the world of the play, and immediately you catch on. But because of the theme of this play, which is grief, which is more of sadness, and so you want the audience to feel that. So that's why I said, well, that would depend on the director. Now, what I want to talk about, what I find interesting about this play, is there's a particular line, I don't know if I can get it very well, something about when Anwuli was telling the father, you are the fixer, try to fix it, something, try to fix it. He repeated the line, and then you see, you are beginning to talk like your mom. What do you mean by something fixed? I love that. That's very brilliant. I wish I can get it exactly, but I don't have the script in front of me. That I love, you understand? But again, there's also a technique that the writer or the playwright brings in, which is a beat. So I don't get that. I take it as, is it like an aside or a soliloquy, like we call soliloquy, But at the same time, I also see that the other actor reacts to, even if it is thinking out loud, but the other actor relates to that. So I don't know, maybe the author will be in the best place to tell us why he says beat, and then the character will go on saying the rest of their line. But then the next character will relate to that. So I don't know what that is supposed to achieve, Worst part for me, like I said, the ending still leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. It's like, oh, so that's it. Or is it going to continue another scene? It seems like I'm repeating myself, but that's it. That's what I got, So I mean, that's left to the writer, to playwright, to take it or leave it. So yeah. What's the other thing? Is the other part of the structure you mentioned? I know I've answered. Sorry?
You've told us what
I can't hear anybody. I can hear echoes.
Let's leave you for
Dr. Pali, can you just, so that I can hear you better?
No, it's all right. Let's listen to now. You've made your point. Thank you so much. Let's listen to other. Yes.
All right, thanks.
Yes. So no, Kole, you hold on a little bit. You've talked a bit. Is there anybody out there that is willing to say something? I really wish that Nobet would just say something, even if it's to say hello, hi. Nobet, say something. Nobet, say something. Nobet. Oh, okay, that's the problem. All right. Okay, so now I think that we have a general harvest of perspectives, and now Bimbo, let's over to you.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
say-
Oh, yes, sorry, I was unmuting myself. See, generally, like I said at the beginning, I think what Kelvinmary has done is extremely courageous, and it even assumes another level of courage when you consider that though it is privileged information, he is planning. This play is scheduled to perform next month. Oh, okay, you changed it to October. Yes, to October. It takes a lot of courage to present this kind of text as a stage play, and I commend him for that courage in the first place. I say that in the context of a Nigerian audience that is used to Davido and all kinds of comedy on YouTube and all that. I think it is excellent work to have gone to this, chosen this genre and this theme. But so now what everyone has been talking about, trying to look for ways to make it better, make it racier and all. I feel that we need to acknowledge the challenge, one, of writing a three-man piece. You almost don't have anywhere to go. So you need some ingenuity to be able to break falling into a rut. Two, I can relate to the limitation that the author felt in staying with the topic and not going somewhere else in a subplot, you know. However, I think if we take all of that together, there is still an opening. Instead of creating, of course, one of the advantages of these three-handers, two-handers, and so on, one manner, is cast economy, production economy. It works. And like somebody said earlier, they tend to be racier. You get it done and people are with it, they're following, you know, as it grows. So my take is that maybe the issue of grief plateaued too early. So there are not too many places for the author to go. He will have to create another storyline. Even if he remains with the three characters, another storyline that can serve as a breaker from that main, the spine of the theme, without losing the power of the theme itself. The question of the man is never around, for instance. Oh, that's another thing, by the way. You know, I feel that you layered this piece. That's one of the things I found intriguing about it. You layered it with all kinds of sub-themes that I felt you could have exploited. The man in the dock, for instance, he is never around. He doesn't care. He can't connect with the reality of the family. We're grieving you. You are going around sleeping in other people's house. All kinds of things that the woman has been able to create a criminality around concerning the man. However, as usual, whether deliberately or inadvertently, what you have done is to put the man in the dock, the way the entire society does, with total disregard for the man's emotion, for the way he has plotted what he considers as important. He is saying in some places, for instance, that, look, I am carrying you. Yeah. I may not be there with you, but you say it's my daughter doing it. I am carrying my daughter. I am constantly thinking about what you guys will eat. I'm constantly thinking about how we will continue to pay rent and they will go to school and so on. And it doesn't seem like anybody cares. And then where society is usually, and culture to tradition is also very quick to say, it is only a weak man that cries. How can a man like you be talking like that? All those condemnations, I think it puts the man in the dock. And it's one of those subplots that I feel he could have exploited without necessarily losing the setting, the number of characters, and the core theme, which is grief and trauma. I feel it could have been exploited. It's one of those things. Even the girl herself is coming with her own story. In that family, until the final scene, she's the only one who knows how her brother died. Yet she never told anyone. Where is her guilt in that process? We never really see it. We're not appointing until the final, until the resolution, you know. It might have been deliberate for you to have hidden it. However, maybe it would have helped if we find her alone a couple of times, chewing on something that we do not understand. That's a lot of giveaway. No, well, you don't have to give away. He's a writer. I'm a writer as well. There are things you could have done. Yes, you know, and we can catch her in weak moments, but generally that's it. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Tell me what to say something. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Nobody.
I think it needs to be.
Autistic, or what's the right word? She might truly be a given person, someone that is given prone to taking care of people. But for a girl who is carrying that amount of guilt, that sacrifice that she has made for her family for the entire 1 year might be her parents, her way of showing that yes, he is indeed sorry for what has happened. Yes, she has hidden it well, but could be why she has given herself up entirely and giving herself into the family. So, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So I'm speaking from Uncle Toyin's phone, and it's a privilege. So, I was talking earlier about how people grieve in different ways. And right now, as we keep talking, I go back to the script and realize that the author has done a good job. The woman is grieving in being dramatic. The girl is grieving in trying to fix things. And then the husband is grieving also by being away, avoidance. So if there is a way that artistically the author can accentuate these different ways of grieving, and then also make it, that will now be like the point of conflict, such that people grieve in different ways. We are all suffering in this. So if that conflict can be explored more, I'm not trying to give advice, but it can strengthen the play a lot more, to just show that the fact that one person died and we all care about the person does not mean we'll grieve the person in the same way.
you know. So I think that the author has done a good job by one being avoidant, one being flighty, and all those things. So kudos to that's what I like about the work. As to what I really don't like is still that going back to some lines and showing us a lot more than you say in words, actually. I just find some lines like just statements instead of using words to make us imagine a lot more. So that's basically my point. Yeah.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in? Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Cole, I think you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Based on, I just wanted to piggyback on this because you've talked almost twice about the different ways of grieving. And also, we all know that there are different stages of grief. And the denial process, the denial level, it didn't happen, it shouldn't happen, why me, kind of thing. Then anger, and then bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So I have a feeling that the end of it, of what we saw, was the whole family accepting that this has happened. And in my crazy moments, I was just thinking that as they bundle together, a very nice dirge gets to play and wash over. It may be melodramatic, but that was what my head was saying. And then, as part of that comic relief, as part of that relief moment, and I'm sure everybody would laugh here, that the bag he was carrying, the mother, after 1 year, decided to open it. And you know what she found? She found a condom.
It make it crack.
Demoralized person. It's not them. But let's.
Boys is great. I mean, your suggestion was great. Yeah, okay. So, Leke, you haven't said anything. Are you in Lagos now?
Norbert wants to say something. His hand is up.
Okay, no bed, please. You can unmute yourself. Hello.
He can't operate his phone.
Okay, so you are the one that said
yeah, because his hand is up. Maybe he pressed it in error.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Leke, you can't say anything. No bet, you can't say anything. Lukman has said what he needs to say. Bimbo has said his own. So we're going to give the mic to the playwright, author, director,
actor,
Gizmo, TMT, Kelvinmary, Ndukwe. All right, what's up? Anyway, let's.
Thank you very much, my brothers. I'm very, very honored to have heard your feedback on this work. I want to say first of all, I set out to write about grief, and I found myself writing about family, about holding on, letting go, about the things that might have happened even before a major tragic event happens. And if you check, the trauma in this family isn't that the boy died. It's in the family setup. before the boy died. Before this boy died, the mother wasn't seeing the daughter. As far as she was concerned, Tony is my favorite child. And it was so obvious in their relationship that all she wanted was for the father to be there for Tony. You know, and every time the man says he has to man up for himself, she didn't find that funny. Your son keeps getting bullied at school. You did not arrest the boys bullying him. You keep saying, but he has to stand up for himself. And I think it's a reality for a lot of men growing up. You have to stand up for yourself. I remember one time I went to, I think I was in secondary school, and this boy from my primary school days beat me up. My nose started bleeding, and I got home. My mother asked me, "Where is he?" I said, "He's in the house." Is his nose bleeding? I said, "No." Say, "Make sure his nose bleeds." So many got back where you are coming from. I went back. My nose bled some more. And but I think that was the problem for Tony. And I think that final moment, I've also asked myself, final moments for Tony, what was he thinking? Was he just protecting his sister? Or was he trying to make a mark? I am man enough. I don't have to wait for my dad. I can do this. The reason, only according to the script, the reason she told him is because Tony is close to the mom. If I don't have my mother's ears, you have her ears, and I have yours. If I tell you, she will hear. But she didn't hear. Let me not try to do an emotional response to the material. At the beginning, the conversations in this family have been very uncomfortable. Nobody has been talking in this family. I can't remember who mentioned it in this sitting, but nobody has been talking in this family. The first time we all spoke in this family was towards the end. Everybody has been avoiding everybody as a plague. When Daniel was at, which was an issue.
Why did they not argue?
So,
as in violent argument. Yeah.
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 That's I'm taking it. But not having a conversation made even the beginning the awkwardness at the beginning very honest. Because I wanted to tell as honest as possible this story. Grief is, like Uncle Bim mentioned, grief is a very very tender topic. And there's a way you talk, someone who's already injured will feel itself. No, violence. I'm not ready. But everybody
it's very personal anyway.
And her grief was personal. How is grief personal? Daniel's grief was personal. So the person at the beginning. And I'll quickly respond to Dr. Lukman's question about the beat. So beat is a borrowed term from screenwriting to suggest a momentary pause. I'm speaking and then I take a pause, and then it can be a detour in my conversation, or it can be a moment of emphasis. You know what? Let's go into this.
It can also change topic.
It can also change. Can change topic completely.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that someone is listening to you, and the moment someone is listening to you, you take a pause, and then you can change the topic, or you can take a deeper dive into the conversation. So whoever your co-player is not lost. In fact, if the co-player feels lost, the co-player can ask, "Wait, how did we get here?" And that is very valid. But in this case, she has watched her mother ramble. So she has watched her mother go quiet, go cold, go almost insane. If I'll put it that way. She has watched her mother lock herself up in this room. She has watched her mother. As a matter of fact, her mother packed her own load and brought into this room.
On his room, yes.
Like, I want to camp in this place of grief. And it is hard to write about. It is hard to write women. Oh, yes. If you do it badly, women will come after you.
In terms of gender.
No, they will tell you, they may even tell you don't have a right to write about us because you don't know us. And they may be justified if it is badly done. So, to not stray, I try to stay as honest as possible with the pauses and the silences. Silences are, and I think I enjoy silences even as a director. It is a very important aspect of conversation. I'll give you an example. So I went to use the restroom and coming back, nobody was saying anything. And I wasn't hearing any other voice here. But what was happening was that everybody was plugged onto the phones, listening to the conversation, but it was inaudible from where I was. It's that silence. If I write it in a play, it's like, no, just put on the speaker. After all, they are all in the same setting. Is there any special effect or is there any special thing it does other than the fact that maybe the HDMI is not working or the laptop battery went? What exactly does it add to the dramatic, journey? But it is a normal thing that happens in real life. Your phone can die, and that does not lead anywhere. And like Octoy, as you said, I like to freeze time. I believe that I see drama as peeping through a keyhole, watching a family behave. I can't tell them, no, I cannot see you. You should stay here. I can only write what I see. And Professor Yerima will say, write what you know. And other voices have said that as well. To write what you know. So if I'm writing what I know about this family, about their grief, and I'm hearing other people tell me what can be, I can borrow. But what I know, and let me say at this point, and I don't know how I feel about saying this. I feel bad for saying it, but this is the first draft of the play. I did mention when I posted it, I was working on the second draft.
Yes.
I haven't, because I don't know if I agree with my second draft, with the ending of my second draft. In my second draft, it didn't end here. In my second draft, my current second draft, it ends with, I made I only feel vengeful, like she did it intentionally. I did it. No, she didn't know he was going to die. She just wanted attention.
From all the sibling rivalry.
Yes, just sibling rivalry. But there was love. But there was also, I want attention. I want my own spotlight here. Yes. But all the attention was on Tony. No attention. She's the girl child. She's the one who should be told about tampons, about pregnancy, about her mother did not have her time. Whatever she knows about puberty and all of that, she learned from outside. Yeah.
Backstory, yes.
Yeah. And I was also trying to not talk too much, even though it is still talking too much, which is why some of this backstory did not come into the material. But they need to come in.
There are additional scenes.
They come in to the not the additional scenes. They are just like three spread out like that. At the beginning, where we had the mother and the child, the mother and daughter. Middle part where you have father and daughter, and the closing part where you first had father, daughter, and the mother came in, and then we close. But just that the dynamic of the conversation, some things have, been infused. Yeah. I'll also say that I did not want the end to be dramatic, which is why I'm struggling with the end that I have now. The second draft end. I prefer this first end to it because it feels exhausting already for an already grieving audience to be immersed into this. And also, this play was written for immersive purposes. So to be immersed, yeah. So to be immersed into this from beginning to the end, and I'll give you a dramatic. It feels like maybe it feels like a wicked way of, sucking your blood. If it ends where it ends, we can cry quietly. I don't think I have the capacity to deal with people wailing at the end of the day, or people feeling angry. The goal is not for people to feel angry at the end of the play. Some people will still feel angry with this. The goal is for us to sit quietly and say, if I'm a Daniel, I would say, oh man, I'm messing up. If I'm an Aunli, I would say, it doesn't have to get this far before I say. If I'm a Frank, I would say, I think I've stayed too much in this my grieving zone.
I have a family to run.
I have a family to run. She stayed here for 1 year, 1 whole year. And all of this unity of time, all of this started around, say, like 10 p.m. and ended, say, like 1 a.m. The entire happening of this play. Also to show intentionally that Daniel is avoiding coming home until his wife has slept.
Well, you never told us.
No.
Why?
No. Why he what?
Why is avoiding home?
Because he said it in the play. He said, every time I come, if I come to this house, I can't stay in the bed. I come home, I stay in this bedroom, in our bedroom, because you have already slept by the time I come home. When I come, because he said you are always causing problem. There's nothing I say that he said it in the play. He said, like, we can't have a conversation. If you see me in the room, you stand up and you go to the other room. So you don't want me to help you, but you also want me to help you. So how can I help you? Which was why he said, don't edit me. Don't just stay with me while I'm grieving.
Yeah, but you see, again, I have a slight issue with that. And it is not changing anything. It is about how the character that is warehousing the emotion, expresses it. You understand? So a Daniel, for instance, is not making himself heard. He's not making himself heard. Like this bit that you are talking about, where he says, when I come, it was not even lost on me. It was that he was explaining.
Yeah.
So he's not presenting a position. He's not. So the way Franca was able to say, you did this to me, you did that to me, and that's one of the things I was saying about argument.
So Uncle B. Sorry, Uncle B. So here's the thing. What I did was with Daniel, and what I tried to do with consistency in his character. Daniel is not trying to sit to understand the problem. No,
he is evading.
One, he's evading. In fact, he's a classic evader. Two, Daniel is trying to fix.
He is evading by fixing.
He's fixing by evading, and evading by fixing. So he feels like, I know you need chamomile tea. Take chamomile tea. He's not asking, what do you need to relax, to feel relaxed? He's not saying, okay, babe, let me help.
So what if I interpret giving her chamomile, which he talked about, as compensating?
That's why she said, no, you are trying to do all of this as your penance.
That is compensating. You understand?
Yes.
And he doesn't have a comeback. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but she doesn't want that. What she's saying is, I don't want your penance. You will not choose your penance.
Everybody might take the stories The story ends.
She's even saying it.
The author says, let's do it. You get what I mean? If we have to talk about what should possibly happen, it's going to be like series.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with you.
So when the author says, hey, this is like
this is what I want to say,
in Dostoevsky,
and I have said it.
Yeah, in Dostoevsky,
Yeah.
Yeah. The ending of that play was so insightful to me, even as a writer. He just talked about when the guy, I can't remember the Russian name, came up with, and he was in prison and he had found law in his schizophrenia and all that. Then we heard the author's voice that said, in this moment that they were together with Sonia, they felt like the story has come to an end and all that. But they don't know that a good life is not given for long. Now, what they are starting is the beginning of a new chapter.
Yes, exactly.
I'm trying to rephrase what Dostoevsky said in that. Right? What they are starting is the beginning of a new chapter. However, me as an author, I'm bringing the story to an end here.
Yes.
Perhaps we can rewrite, we can write another novel. Continue that.
So,
you understand? So whatever, however an author brings us a story, in as much as that story is realistic, he just decides to say this is the end.
So in this case, which still ties to my ideology of peeping through a keyhole. What I see from the beginning of the time I peep to the end of the time I peep is what I see. Something else happens after that. For instance, what we see as the resolution in this play is actually the beginning of another thing entirely. As a matter of fact, if you ask me how the family navigates from here now, I don't know yet. I have not tried to interrogate it. I do know for a fact that Daniel is eager to fix, and he's happy that both his wife and his daughter are speaking up, are telling him to his face, this is where you messed up. He's very, very grateful for it, and he's happy to pick from there. We don't know if picking from here, he might actually move mad and like, what else do you want? The shirt on my back.
And like I said,
you understand?
I stopped thinking very guilty about. Is it a dramatic end? Is it confusing? But the day I realized that wherever you choose to end this story is where you just have ended it. But in the minds of people, reality, that story can continue to live.
Yes. How can it come and end like that?
Even in the classic Death and the King's Husband. Even in the classic Death and the King's Husband. What does the village do after now? Yes.
Yeah, but that one was difficult to touch or critique in that manner. Because it was a real life incident. That happened. You know, and unless it was taking extreme dramatic license, it could not have gone further.
But Uncle B, even in the real life that it happened, how did the village move on from there? So what we saw was a Leslie story, and how his son gave himself up because his father was sick, and it ended there.
So what if after that there is no drama? Life just settles into a plateau. There's nothing to write about.
You
know.
I mean,
no. Even if they do it secretly.
What if there was a military invasion by the British?
And
what if?
And Kevin, let me say this. And where should an independent author, somebody is not connected, should they want to write something, they have material and challenge enough to continue. So I think stories that are like all conclusive without the audience living with, but it should have, that's not theater, I think. Let me not box theater into a particular definition. Personally, it is subjective. A good story should leave an audience just thinking, what if? That's what
should encourage, should instigate conversation.
When you think about it, they just have their next year.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was going to also say something from what Dr. Otola said. He mentioned dirge and all. That is left to a director's interpretation. I remember performing in Judy Dada's Lotto, Devil's Pilgrimage. Lotto was largely a two-man play. It was about a boy that went to that journeyed to Europe through the desert and then came back to visit his mother, only for us to find that it was a conversation between a dead son and a living mother. You know, but Jude, as the director, he didn't write this in the play, but as the director, he had two entities, called them spirits. And what they did was they were also our chorus. So they took the dirge and all of that. As a director, if I need to borrow Dr. Tola's um, suggestions, I can merge with what you did, for instance. What if I had people in the room who are doing the singing, who are doing, call them angels, because we already established from the beginning that Tony is dead. Yeah. I also wanted to quickly say that I did not want to play Tony. I talked about Tony's voice notes. I didn't want to. From the conversations in this room, we meet Tony. We actually know Tony. We know that Tony was bullied. We know that Tony was Anwale's younger brother. We know that Tony was loved by the mother. We know that Tony was loved in a different way by the father. For himself. Yeah. So, yeah. Can we play the relationship between mother and, of course, nothing holds us back from doing that. But I also felt that I didn't want to, we're already in Tony's room. This play set in Tony's room. And then we know of Tony. We're seeing things that belong to Tony. Bringing his voice, his person alive was, I considered it mean. I considered it wicked to anyone who has battled this kind of grief. I thought it'd be like say I've opened wounds that someone has managed to heal from. You know, I'm surprised that I'm also that considerate, knowing how I like to poke at injuries. You know, but I thought honestly that Tony was dead. I didn't want to anything that would bring his life. You know, for instance, when the mother brought out the dress, you know, I wanted it to be what he wore when they killed him. That was what I originally wrote. That would be more wicked. Was it dramatically exciting? Yes. Yes. That we see something from him. Yes, he's excited. So we see whether he was shot or he was stabbed. We would know. You know, because the script doesn't say that much. But we meet him. We meet Tony. We meet Tony. As a matter of fact, we know Tony more than we know Anwale. Even though Anwale said a lot, we know Tony more than we know Anwale. What we know about Anwale is, her mother missed her graduation, her brother died, she has been carrying the family, and then she has a guilt hanging over her neck. Nothing else. We don't know if she had a boyfriend. We don't know if she's battling anything other than grief and guilt. We don't know. We don't know anything else about her. You know. So, and this is not to say that we must know everything about all the characters when we meet them. I'm also saying Franca's grief. Why did she stay that long in it? Because she set herself up. And nobody, I don't think anybody can tell anybody how to grieve. Yeah. I don't think anybody can tell anybody how to grieve. Grief, I think I put it in the same category. When someone is angry, I say calm down. And you know that thing they say, nobody has ever calmed down in the history of say calm down, you know. So yeah. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
So that's where we're going to leave it, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We now have reduced the women to one. Tomi is the last woman standing, and we're happy for that. We want to thank Tony for coming up with the equipment as usual. I want to thank Professor Ole Adeodutola for electronically facilitating this. We appreciate the audience in diaspora, Dr. Lukman Sanusi and Professor Oluwatoyin Kola Odutola. Leke, you did not say anything after the post, but I forgive you. Nobet, you should go and work on your equipment and get better. So is there any other thing? You said Bimbo said on the platform that we are going to talk about some other things. Are we going to talk about them now?
Obviously we can.
Oh, we can. Okay.
Obviously we can.
We already have Colin says we can't. I mean the problem is that the Freedom Park has started their party. They are already playing. Oh, guy, can we hear that? You know. So we can't. So we have to postpone that or move it into the platform. And yes, yeah. So that's the end of this session. The only person I haven't thanked is the author of this very admirable work. And he has told us to get lost. He has written what Well, it's okay. We forgive him. He's been drinking stout, so he's allowed. All right, everybody.
All right, so gentlemen and ladies, thank you so very much. It's been another enlightening sit out. I don't know what you guys are doing over there, wherever you are, but we have a bottle of brandy here. A few bottles of Guinness have gone down. People have had so much water, they are pissing. So generally, all is well. And we're grateful for another opportunity to sit like this and learn from each other, from one another. Until another meeting, I wish you all well. Please let us agree on the platform about the regularity of our meetings so that people can calendar it. We will generate that conversation shortly. Thank you and have a lovely evening. Goodbye.
Thank you.